How's everyone doing? This is a Blu-ray collection update with 5 pickups. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and let me know which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below. First up is a 4K title, and I haven't seen any of these, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking them out. Let me know which one I should watch first. First up is Plane. It's the 4K Ultra HD release from Lionsgate, starring Gerard Butler and Mike Colter. I like Mike Colter a lot. Luke Cage, excellent in that role. I haven't seen Evil, the series that I've heard a lot of good things about. But definitely let me know what your favorite Mike Colter movie is, or actually role, because he's done a lot of TV stuff. And your favorite Gerard Butler movie. I feel like 300 propelled him. That was still one of the best action movies of all time. The visuals, very stylistic. But I believe this one right here, Gerard Butler is a pilot, and he's saving this flight with all the different passengers in it after a lightning strike, and they land on this island, and there's a bunch of rebels and stuff, and they take hostages. And Mike Colter's character is wanted by the FBI. He's a murderer. I think he's being transported by the FBI, in fact. And they have to rely on each other and trust each other. But can he trust this supposed murderer? But supposedly there's more to it than that. And it looks like there's going to be a good supporting cast here too. And it's from the producers of Angel Has Fallen and Greenland, both starring Gerard Butler. Actually, both pretty good. Greenland was one of the best apocalyptic kind of movies, semi-apocalyptic, natural disaster to the 10th Degree movies that I've seen. But yeah, this one looks really going to be action-packed, intense, palpable. I'm excited to check this one out for sure. And it does have some special features on here too. And nice slipcover for it. So I'll be watching this one pretty soon. This has the Rotten Tomatoes sticker on there. Thankfully, I can just peel this one off, and it's not printed on the case like so many recently. I still don't understand the appeal for Rotten Tomatoes. Sandlot, they gave Sandlot like a really low rating. It's either like, I might have to use like glue gun or Goo Gone, one of those type of things that remove the adhesive. I'll leave it on there for now, actually. But yeah, it's like there's no middle ground. It's either like a 90 or like a 20. IMDb is really the best popular legitimate rating site out there, and it blows my mind that they became so mainstream and popular. But I digress. I feel like I always complain about them, but it's more so just because there's stickers everywhere. They're printed on the packaging sometimes, and that's unnecessary. We see them everywhere, and I just don't understand, because I see a lot of people complaining, not just me. I've been complaining for a long time about them. But yeah, this director actually is a French director, Jean-Francois Riquet. I know he directed Bloodfather with Mel Gibson, which was awesome, and a really underrated Mel Gibson movie, an underrated movie in general. Get the Gringo and then Bloodfather, I think, are really underrated for Mel Gibson movies, but also really good movies. And he did the Mesrine movies too, French gangster movies. Next up is Cocaine Bear, which this looks like it's going to be a wild ride, inspired by true events. Directed by Elizabeth Banks. Let me know what your favorite Elizabeth Banks movie is. I know she directed I think it was the 2019 Charlie's Angels movies with Kristen Stewart. And I didn't hear any good things about that one. I haven't seen it myself. But I wasn't a big Kristen Stewart fan for a long time, but she definitely changed my mind. I think she's actually a good actress. Personal Shopper, incredible. Kind of like a weird drama horror, and it just really works though. I loved it. And The Clouds of Sils Maria, really good performance from her there too. She's a bunch of different things, but those are like 2 of my favorites from her. But yeah, Elizabeth Banks. Let me know your favorite Elizabeth Banks movie. When I think of her, I think of 40-year-old version, the character, and they're so freaking good. And then Slither. It's like one of my all-time favorite horror comedy sci-fi movies. This has Ray Liotta in it, one of his last movies. O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son, a bunch of other recognizable people in here. Looks like it's Kerry Russell. Kerry Russell, I remember her way back in the day. Felicity, right? That was the TV show. And I feel like she's really coming into her own. Americans, it's such a great show. Cold War era, love that one. Espionage. And then she was in Dark Skies, which I thought was a really good, alien abduction movie. But I feel like everybody's heard of this movie. It's got really good promotion, great marketing. This is a release right here from Universal, and does have some special features, including an alternate ending It's gag reels. I'm looking forward to the gag reels in this one. This is the Maximum Rampage edition. This looks like it's going to be a wild, fun time. It's about a bear ingesting copious amounts of cocaine and going on a coke-fueled rampage, and I guess attacking and killing people. And I think there's like drug dealers involved, trying to get the cocaine, and police officers and tourists and all kinds of things. I think it happens in like maybe a national park. So yeah, it just looks like it's going to be balls to the walls, action and comedy. And it looks like just a fun ride. I will be watching this one probably tonight, in fact. Next up is Missing, which I'm not sure if it's going to tie into Searching, which was the first one with John Cho. That one was incredible. I love the way that played out. Really plays up the paranoia, and then just how reliant we are on technology and, you know, internet and social media and stuff like that, and, you know, the pros and cons of it. And I know the two directors here, they're first-time directors, feature length for this one right here, Will Merrick and Nick Johnson, but they were editors on Searching. This is from the minds behind Searching. And so on the first one, John Cho was looking for his missing daughter. And this one, it's a daughter looking for her missing mother. Has Storm Reed, who I just saw in The Last of Us. And supposedly that episode got a lot of controversy, or I don't know. There are a couple of those episodes did, and for you know, focusing on LGBTQ characters, which it should be the norm. There should be no controversy. How does it affect you? I don't know. It's crazy to me. But she's a talented young actress from what I've seen. And then Nia Long, who's always awesome. But yeah, so she goes missing, and she's just trying to go through, I guess, you know, the internet and, you know, all the different technology-based stuff, and trying to find her and find answers, and, you know, all the different, you know, digital footprints that you can leave behind. And there's going to be twists and turns, I'm sure, just like Searching. I don't know if it ties in at all, because it's, I assume, you know, two different cases. But perhaps, I mean, the design on the cover is the same type right there. But looking forward to checking this one out. And I like how they change up the concept with the child looking for the parent this time. So that is definitely an interesting one. And then next up is The Sun. And this one right here is a Sony release, which also has some good bonus features. I would expect some on this one just because I'm curious about a lot of you know, the technology aspect and the concepts and stuff. It really makes you think, though. Like, when I was younger, you know, I didn't have a cell phone in school. Like, it's mind-blowing to me how reliant. Like, if I leave the house without my cell phone, I have to go back. I feel like I'm lost. I start to panic. Like, where's my cell phone? You know, it's such a key to us. Like, I feel like we're used to. We're all on it too much, right? Or you're watching this probably on a cell phone. I'm filming this on a cell phone. So there's pros and cons, of course. But next up is The Sun, and this is directed by Florian Zeller, who directed The Father with Anthony Hopkins. And Anthony Hopkins is in here as a father character, but not the same character from The Father. I think that's actually somewhat confusing, right? The Son, The Father, both by the same director. I think this was based on a play as well. And The Father was incredible. Anthony Hopkins won an Academy Award for his performance, and rightfully so. I know there was some controversy with Chadwick Boseman not getting it, but to be honest, he didn't deserve it. I know he passed away, and he's a great actor, but he didn't deserve for that film. Was it Ma Rainey's Blues? I can't remember the exact title now, but I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that movie overall. I liked the lead actress's performance the best by far, and I feel like Chadwick Boseman had a much smaller role in it. Anthony Hopkins' performances was just on another level. Yeah, so anyways, this one right here looks like it's going to have some great performances. It's about Hugh Jackman and his new relationship, and I think they have a child together, and then his ex-wife comes into the picture with their son, who's dealing with a lot of like emotional issues, and he's trying to help there and you know, kind of focus a little bit more. And so it's just the interpersonal relationships. And yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. A great cast here too. You know, Hugh Jackman, Laura Dern, Vanessa Kirby, Anthony Hopkins again. Let me know what your favorite Hugh Jackman movie is. I feel like everybody thinks of him as Wolverine, and Logan was incredible. One of my favorite, you know, comic book movies. But The Greatest Showman, which is kind of a remake too. Great performance there. I'm not too big into musicals, but that's like one of my all-time favorites now. But The Prestige is probably my favorite movie with Hugh Jackman in it. But Laura Dern, really good. Smooth, what was the name of that one? Gosh, I have it right over here. It's Smooth Talk. I just watched a Criterion with her in it. I liked her performance in that movie better than the movie itself, but just made me think of that. But yeah, this one, Bring the Sun to the Screen. I believe this is adapted from a film, so they'll probably be talking about that. But it looks like this one's going to have a lot of emotional honesty, you know, familia drama, stuff like that. So one I'm looking forward to. And again, I love The Father from the same director. Next up is Living, which is a remake of Akira Kurosawa's Akiru, which I really like the movie, but I feel like some of the exposition, the clerical work job was a little bit too much heavy-handed. They went just too in depth with it, and like a lot of the minute details that weren't necessary, and they focused a bit on that. And I liked it overall, but there were certain things that I think could have been fixed. And I hate obviously Akira Kurosawa, one of the greatest directors of all time. I know I'd get it's a backlash for this saying that, but just my personal opinion. So this is instead a 1950s London, and a civil servant, and kind of doing the same thing where he's in the doldrums of life and his job, and he gets this medical diagnosis, and he decides to try to make an impact with his life, the time that he has left. And it could certainly be inspirational too. And this has a special feature, a life semi-lived featurette, and then another release from Sony. I like what Sony's doing, especially the Sony Pictures Classics line. Really enjoy that one. But yeah, Bill Nighy right here, he was nominated for Best Actor, and he was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for the Oscars. And then this one has the Rotten Tomatoes printed right on the artwork, which I loathe that so much. But yeah, this is one that I'm curious about checking out to see how they differ from Akiru. Obviously, the very similar concepts, a remake, but there's going to be some deviations, I would imagine. Again, set in London in the 50s, but definitely curious about this one. But there you go. Those are the 5 films right here. Some really good releases. 3 from Sony, in fact. Searching also from Sony. So Sony's releasing some good quality stuff. This one looks like it's just going to be a wild, balls to the wall, great mixture of comedy and action. This one, too, is going to be, really, looks like it's going to be taut suspense and action in here, too. Fight to survive kind of deal. And the mystery intrigue of Searching, I feel like it's going to be very similar with the, the technology aspects and social media and stuff, digital footprints, and then the drama with both of these. So an eclectic mix of movies, Cocaine Bear, Living. You can't get opposite sides of the spectrum really as much as this haul right here. So let me know if you've seen any of them, what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite, and let me know which one I should watch first. I'm kind of leaning towards Cocaine Bear just because it looks like it's going to be a blast of a time. I'm kind of in the mood for that right now, but they all are something that I'm interested in, obviously. So some of it is more dependent on my mood. If I'm in the mood for some drama or some action or something like that. Horror is my favorite genre by far, then sci-fi, then westerns. Let me know what your favorite genre of films is right there. Let me know those comments down below, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.